Hey Adventures, today is going to be our 2023 reading and channel goals. We'll do a quick look back at our 2022 goals and see how we did, and then move on to our 23 goals and see what we have planned. Goals for this year, I guess. I think start off really simple. I would like to read 65 books this year, I think is what I put. I ended up reading 60 books last year. I think I can do 65. I at least know that I'm going to try, and it's a goal to reach for, to strive for, but if you miss it, it's not really that big of a deal as long as you're continuing reading.
I think I'd like to read 50 books this year. I think I read 50 books.
You read 52.
Yeah, so I'd like to read at least 50 this year. I don't want to.
So, as you just heard, our first goals was a book number and how many books we actually wanted to read in that year. Mine was set at 65 and Kate's was 50.
Set at 50, yeah, and I exceeded mine.
I did too. I think I ended up with 70 books by the end of the year that I'd read.
Yeah, I think I ended up with 87 or 88.
I did read several short stories or novellas, I guess.
Those
so
count.
there was that too. Yeah,
Perfectly fine.
I agree, but I did read several of those. All right.
I think consistent reading would yield at least 50 books.
So one of the other goals I think that I would like to do is to have more videos where I am directly taking influence for the video from the community around me. So things like live shows with other content creators or with other readers or whatever that want to hop on, or doing reviews that people have asked of me, stuff like that, any of that type of thing. Another thing that I'm going to that's included in that is I'm going to start asking people in the Discord server to give me one book from my physical TBR. So I'll have a list from my physical TBR and I'll have them pick a book off of there that they want me to read. I'll touch on this real quickly since it's getting kind of long and I don't want to forget what the first part of that was. The first part was using video or using things that other people in the community have asked of me to do to make videos from. So book reviews or video ideas, stuff like that. And I didn't do terrible at this, but I also didn't do great. I did have a couple of them. I had one or two reviews that were actually asked of me, I think. And then I did do my big Why I Love Dragons video, which was requested by Kay's Hidden Shelf. So not great, but I did kind of keep up with that one. And then the other part of that was having people on our Discord server choose a book for me to read from my physical TBR. I think I did this once, maybe.
I actually had I don't think that was my goal, but I think I had him do that a couple times this year.
Yeah.
Just help choosing. But.
So that one I kind of failed on.
I think something that we both like to do is improve our reviews. We both have decided that we're not a huge fan of the way we had formatted our views in the past. And we do have a review from the both of us that'll be coming up relatively soon here, probably within the next 2 months. I'm just being generous with time here. We probably never did that.
Yeah, I think that was Cyrano de Bergerac.
Oh, okay. I have 3 in my head that we haven't done.
Yeah.
Anyhow, in regards to that, coming up with different reviews, I don't know how you went. I just stopped doing them altogether. So clearly I solved that problem. I am interested in improving my reviews.
I did change the way that I was doing them. The previous way that I was doing them, where I would take each of our 5 elements and break down the story by that. That's a decent way to do them, but it's way too complicated and takes way too much time to think through. And so what I've started doing is just talking about my general thoughts on them as I go, and that helps a lot better. And that other style of using our 5 elements, I'm now calling an analysis, and I don't think I've done one since this video came out. So.
Thanks. Okay, next. With time here. So the next 2 months we'll have a review from the both of us about the same book coming up, and hopefully we can find a better way to present that to you all, and something that's maybe a little more satisfying and you guys can get more out of. I think goals will look different this year because we kind of know what to expect and what we're able and capable of doing.
Yeah. I think I would like to continue attempting to read more of other genres than I normally do. Eventually that'll become to where I'm reading several different genres and there's not really more genres that I don't read type thing, which is fine, but I want to at least continue trying to get into more mysteries, read more westerns, read more historical fiction. Those are really the 3 big ones, and science fiction too as well. Anyways, I would like to continue with that goal. I think that's one that I will bring over into this new year.
And I think my last goal would be reading the books I have. It's I think it's understandable to be purchasing new books and to constantly have new books you haven't read in your bookshelf or in your book collection. But I have books that I've had for a little bit too long that I really should just get to. And I have this beautiful bookshelf, so I need to read what's in it. So my goal is going to be to work primarily at. Got that.
Yeah, so my part was read more broadly genre-wise, and I didn't do horrible at this. I did read quite a bit of quite a bit of historical fiction, and I also read quite a bit of sci-fi actually. For basically having not read any sci-fi previously, this year I read a lot comparatively. So I didn't do horrible at that. I didn't do very many. I don't think I read no, I did read one mystery this year. I did read one Western, but that was it. I didn't have as much time for physical reading as I wanted.
I did accomplish my goal in this, which was to read the books I owned. I did that. The only book that I haven't completed was a Louis L'Amour short story collection, which I purchased because I was looking for something in particular and it didn't have it. So I guess maybe I'll try and read that this year, but yeah, I did complete that goal.
Let's see if there's anything else. I think I actually will do something similar with that, and that's read primarily the books that are on my shelves. I'm sure audiobooks will be ones that that I don't have, stuff like that. And if I get books as gifts, or people send me books, or whatever happens, that's fine. I will continue to add them, but I'm not gonna purposely go buy 30 books like I have in the past. I mean, I'm not opposed to that either, but I want to at least try and read primarily from my shelves. And along with that, I'm also going to try and build myself a nice big bookshelf to fill it, because if you've seen my bookshelf reorganization videos, you know that I don't have enough space on my bookend. Yeah, I failed at that one too. Again, mostly because I didn't have the time to physically read books that I wanted, and so I couldn't get through as many. But I guess I didn't go and get library books to read or anything like that. I read the books that I owned, some of which I had purchased though. And so there is that. Yeah, I'll stop there. We'll see if there's anything else. Along with that, I'm also going to try and build myself a nice big bookshelf to fill it, because if you've seen my bookshelf reorganization video. Alright, so that's our
2022
channel goals. Yeah.
So let's go into 2023, see what we've got planned for this year.
Yeah. So I will start because I have a couple more than Kate does, but I want to make significant progress on my physical TBR. This is that same as the last one that we were just talking about. In my 2022 goals is read the books that are on my bookshelf that I already physically own. And I'm going to try really hard to be better about that this year. I know that I failed on that last year, and I didn't realize that I had made it a goal to do so. But this year I'll try and do better. That's actually my first goal as well. I mentioned that I kept to that last year, and I did, but I have more books now, and I'm excited to do that again. I like knowing exactly what's coming next in my reading life, because I have books to choose from, specifically a smaller selection. The next one that I have, I'll actually combine these two real quick because they're pretty simple, but that's continue my Redwall read through. I've talked about it quite a bit now, but I'm reading through all of the Redwall books and I'm doing reviews about them all. It's just so that, because there's two I think that I haven't read, and then I want to refresh on all of them. And so I'm going to continue doing that one, and hopefully read more than one book in the Redwall series this coming year. And then along with that, I'm also going to continue through Wheel of Time and hopefully read more than half a book in 2023. So. Very nice. One goal that I've had, almost an unspoken goal I've kept myself to this year as much as I could reasonably, is to read at least one book a week, so that I'm doing 4 books a month. But I just feel so much more satisfied if I know, okay, I read a book this week, whether that's audiobook or whatever the case. I'm going to keep with that coming in 2023, just make it a goal, something I'm working towards. With that, I'll say that my goal in that same line is read 65 books this year. That's what I did in 2022. I definitely think it's possible in 2023, especially with the availability I have for listening to audiobooks at the moment. And I suspect that'll continue, so I will probably get through at least 65 again.
Yeah, one of my goals is to read as many Enclave books as I can this year. I'm really intrigued by a lot of the newer authors that they've been publishing, and I wanna try these books out. So I'm excited to dive into that.
I would like to finish out more of the series that I've started. I made a series check-in video or something like that several months ago now, or weeks ago, I don't remember, but I just here are the series that I am currently in the middle of, or I've started, or am almost done with, and what I want to finish out. Some of them I did finish out in the time frame that I wanted to, but some of them I didn't. I did make progress on all of them that I wanted to, I think, except maybe Giver Quartet. But that one's, I've just got one book left, and so I will continue working to finish out more series that I have started.
So a more specific goal I have is to finish the Calculated series by Nova McBee. I've read books 1 and 2. I have to read book 3, and then book 4 is coming out this year. So just excited to keep reading through that. It's kind of fun to be reading a series that's still being published. I don't know if I've done that besides like Magic Treehouse, which are just endless. So
okay, so I have two. I'll do these last two real quick. One of them is to be better about writing reviews, especially on Goodreads. I did good at it for the first half of the year, and then I kind of fell away for some reason. I don't know why, but I kind of stopped. I did make sure that I kept up with it for the self-pub books that I was reading, so or smaller author books. I did make sure that I kept up with those, but I want to do it for all the books that I have read, and I think I'm going to try and do better about it next year. And then the second part, or it's not second part, it's the other goal with that, is this year is going to be a year where I focus mostly on Arthurian legends. I'm going to spend most of my time reading Arthurian stuff. I've got the Pendragon Cycle by Stephen R. Lawhead that I really want to get through. I've got the Once a Future King that I really want to get through, and I've got several other books that are Arthurian legends, so I want to continue my journey through that. And then Sanderson, I'm going to be reading his Secret Projects probably in the first week that they're available on audiobook, because I'll probably just plug them in and listen to them. So I will listen to those. And then is there something else that I thought there was a third author that I was going to be spending a lot of time reading, but I can't think of who it was, so we'll leave it at that.
So a little bit separated from the specific reading goals we have, just personal goals relating to stories. Mine is to be finished with the rough draft of my novel by July, which I think is very feasible unless something bizarre happens, and I've been really consistent about writing the past several months, and I'm very happy with how seeing consistent progress is really amazing.
And in terms of my writing goals, I have lots of story ideas, and I want to create either get them to a point where I can outline them for a novel or write them into a script, turn them into a script. And one specifically that I have been working on and that I kind of had a bit of writer's block on for the past 3 months-ish, and so I haven't made hardly any progress on that until last night when I had a breakthrough and figured out how I'm going with it. And so I'm going to try and get this first season of this show written for me to film eventually. That takes us into our channel specific goals and takes us away from our personal goals. The first channel goal that I have is that I want to collab more with other booktubers. I want, whether that's live stream discussions or whether that's buddy reads or whatever it is, I want to make sure that I'm a more active part of the community, I guess.
That's fair.
I also want to do some author interviews. I have one person in mind specifically that I'd love to get on the channel. There's more than one, but I want to start with one and see if I can at least get that one and how it goes, and if I can figure out how to formulate and ask questions to them, which will be difficult for me. I also want to get a microphone. This will not just be for, I'm hoping this won't be just for YouTube. I'm hoping that I'll be able to use it for other things like music, if I ever decide to do any music stuff, or audiobook narration if I ever decide, or if I'm ever able to get into that. Those are the two other things that I would like to use this mic for, and so because of that, I'm willing to spend a little bit more money on it rather than just get something that'll sound a little bit better than the phone quality.
I'm excited about this one too. One thing that really draws me into videos is quality microphone or quality audio, so I'm hoping we can be putting that out in our videos, or your videos.
And then the last part is to get the bookshelf built that I have been wanting to build all of this year, or all of 2022, and never did. I did start making some plans and then I stopped. So hopefully this year I will be better about that and actually do that.
Okay.
That'll give us a bit more room for a studio, for a YouTube studio, once I get that built, and hopefully it'll look nice.
Yeah. We aren't limited to the books you guys see. We have an expanse. We don't have too many books. I honestly don't think we do. But we do have definitely more than is on camera. So.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching. You guys have probably traveled with us through another year. If not, welcome, and we'll see. I'm excited to see you can keep us accountable for these goals we have here.
Thank you guys for watching an Erudite Adventure. We post videos every Monday and Thursday, and sure, I'll throw this in here occasionally on Wednesdays when I have adaptation stuff to do. So you can keep a lookout for those days, and we will see you guys again soon. Stay warm.